Okay, well, welcome to the Beyond Blessed team call tonight, you guys. I'm so thankful for all of you taking time to join us, and especially for my friend Marla Stegman, who is joining us tonight, you guys. I met Marla right before we went Emerald. Is that right? Or right after? Goodness, it was somewhere right around there. But I adore her, and I have loved getting to know her over the last couple years. As she was just sharing, she is from North Dakota, born and raised, and still lives on a farm there. She was once a single mom, raising her daughter and son for over 15 years. And then this elementary teacher had to pick 3 to 4 jobs up to make ends meet. So she knows what it's like to work really hard. She's then decided to get her master's in teaching in 2012 through a grant because she thought she would be teaching until she was 90. But God had another plan. And she met her now husband in 2012. Graduated with her master's in 2014 and started Plexus in March of 2015, which was not too far from when I started as well. She got married in June of 2015, sold her home, and moved 100 miles to a very rural area in July of 2015. And then she started sharing her story in July of 2015. While she was teaching, you guys, 2 separate jobs, 2 separate contracts, and she's consistently been sharing since then. And she retired from teaching in 2019 and loves the time flexibility. So I know that we'll get to hear more about that, but her and Greg have 8 grandchildren, and now they winter in Arizona, which is my dream, not gonna lie, in a warm location, but they still have a farm in North Dakota where Greg farms the rest of the year. And I love this part that Marla shares: when you make a plan, God laughs at you and redesigns it all. And sometimes that is true. And Marla is now a Sapphire Ambassador, you guys, which our team is still moving towards. We are going to get there one day, but I loved watching Marla hit Sapphire recently, and just so excited to be a small part of watching her journey. And I'm excited for her to get to share with us tonight. So I am going to turn it over to her, and she's going to share a little bit of her journey, what that's looked like, some of her tips for us, and then answer questions for us. So Marla, take it away.
Thank you, Jody. Yes. Well, to start, she kind of gave you a little bit of a rundown. I had a lot going on when I decided to start sharing Plexus. I struggled health-wise with just subtle things kind of that we all probably did, like headaches, sugar cravings. As a kid, I remember craving sugar really bad, like even like a young kid. And then I got mono in high school. I developed allergies, gave myself shots in high school even, and that was back in 1981 before anyone was born. No, you're with me? Okay,
Terry. There were some of us that were born, okay?
So I had all the signs of, lots of gut health issues, but as I matured, I guess you could say, developed into fibromyalgia, hiatal hernia, constipation I always struggled with too, and just being tired all the time, and ended up starting teaching fitness. I taught school, taught fitness then before and after school, and then went through a very stressful time when I went through a divorce. And that's when I really had to step up, just doing a lot more and making ends meet and those kind of things. So I feel like, I've never been afraid of hard work. I'll tell you that much. I was raised on a farm. My dad was a farmer, grandparents were farmers. And I would get sent to the field to a quarter and with a loader tractor and pick rocks all day, like no lunch, no nights, like deal with it, come back when it's done. Sorry, that's how I was kind of raised. No fluff here. But they weren't mean, but it was just kind of, I loved being outside. But anyway, that's kind of my work ethic, just to let you know. It kind of gets you in trouble sometimes. But back to my health. When I think back, I remember taking 6 to 8 ibuprofen the day too, with the pain started getting worse. I had a bout with plantar fasciitis. So all these things, my body was screaming. So when a gal started sharing, that I went to college with, and she had breast cancer and radiation, chemo, I knew, I trusted her. So I reached out and watched for 5 months and tried it and said, don't even talk to me about the business. No way. I actually sold Discovery toys for a small, I don't know if I ever told you that, Jody, when my kids were little. I don't know if you guys, raise your hand if you know what Discovery toys was. Yeah, they're educational toys with no batteries or mechanics. Anyway, so I did do a little bit of network marketing, but I never thought of that because I was an early childhood major and an elementary major. And so anyway, I did kind of have a taste of it, I guess, then. But what happened was I just realized I hadn't had a headache. I had headaches and migraines. Max Salt is the only thing I was prescribed with, I guess. But I just started sharing with a few friends, and then all of a sudden I left it sit on Facebook, I think like 2 days, a post, and I finally hit send. And that was when I was crazy living out of boxes in my new home, because I remember I had to move out. When you're a teacher, is there any teachers on here? Okay, so when you move out of a classroom, it's not just a little deal, right? And when you go into a new school, it's not just a little switch. It's like new curriculum, new, all that stuff. So I had that going on, got married, and I was K through 6 Phy-Ed teacher, K through 6 title, 5th and 6th grade keyboarding, and then they threw in part-time principal. So I had 2 contracts. I was doing that, and then I decided to share. So anyway, when you say you can't do this because you're too busy, I think you can make it work, but I don't know if I'd do that over again. So, but when passion builds, we all start sharing. I don't know if you guys started sharing because of your story. That's how I started. I didn't start because of the business, but yet being broke for so many years as a single mom, I knew what it was like, for those people that need hope. And so that was my big passion too, was to help people that didn't have the financial resources and needed health at the same time. So it was just a challenge. But for me to I just wanted to keep working. And my husband's like, you don't have to work so hard anymore. Just stop. And I was very passionate, you guys. So I can't say it was easy, but I would say I worked a lot of evenings to get to where I am, but just consistently for 6 years. Didn't do anything probably any different than you guys are doing. I guess I started doing a lot of sip and shares. Went on the road. I called it the Plexus road trip in the summers when I had my summers off. I would get my little group of people that lived in the little communities and say, hey, if I came to town, you guys want to get together and let's talk Plexus. And so I was just reading it to my team. I found my 2015 calendar I was cleaning out, and I was reading through it, and it was like horror reading through my first year that teaching, like all the things I had to keep track of. Oh my gosh. Anyway, then in the summer, I had my first sip and shares. And on a Monday night, I was in a town 100 miles south of here. And then the next night, I was 20 miles further south. I stayed at my mom's. She lived there. And then the next night, I went to another town like 50 miles south. And then I went to the next town like 300 miles away where my daughter lives, and had another one that night, like 4 nights in a row. Who does that? Anyway, I enjoyed it because I did not have a headache. I haven't had a headache or a migraine since. I go to the bathroom all the time. I wake up with energy. I love these products. So to start out with that being said, you don't have to be crazy like I was, but this should be fun. And sometimes we have so much stuff coming at us, right? All this new stuff, in social media and don't get caught up in that. Just keep it simple. And I know, Jody, you have an amazing leader. Her and Kelly, I know really is. I think I saw Kelly hop on here. I know you guys do a lot with personal development, but that is huge. Just you are enough. Like, you can reach somebody that your friend can't reach. And it's just a matter of connecting. That's what this is just many different conversations with many different people at different levels, and just caring and loving on others. You know, there isn't one way to do this. There isn't the right way to do this. Your way is going to be the right way. You just have to kind of figure out and trust yourself and believe and just move forward. And as far as depending on your goals, like if your goal is making $300 a month, you wouldn't need to go all in, like, you know, every night. What is that? Maybe an hour a week. You'd have to, you know, do some work. So just don't let overwhelm control you. Find clarity, find focus, find kind of a routine that works for you. You know, if you work full time, you're going to have to fit it in before or after, right? Do you guys do power hours still? Yeah, so those are so great because it just gets you all connected and you all get to work. And now, you know, Plexus has so much to offer, you know, with our app, Send, Share, Invite. We have all these training calls, you know, so much more than what we had. But that's where it can kind of get overwhelming. But overwhelm is a choice. Don't let it control you. You know, just pick a few things. The main thing is following up with your people. If you're on social media, posting daily and being authentic, planning your day and your week, and checking those Plexus perks. I love those Plexus perks. Do you guys like those? Don't you feel great when somebody's so thankful that, like, you saved me $50. Thank you. That a lot of times they misunderstand it. We think they should understand it because we tell them at one time, but this job is a lot like teaching. You have to differentiate and you have to say it 16 times before they really get it. And being I'm an early childhood educator, I guess it doesn't bother me. It's just natural kind of, because first time I hear something, I don't remember it either. But really just loving on people where they're at. I have a good friend who's left me 3 times as far as products and gone to other products. And I just, you know, I love on her. And it's like, you know, go try it and see if it works better for you. She's back with me again. She's like, these products, I feel better. I just have to work on my weight. You know, usually the weight loss is the kicker, right? But, you know, you can let it affect you emotionally, but you just can't do that in this business. It's belief. And if people aren't all in to really be all in with what this is, it's not going to work. So that's not on you. So anyway, other than that, what was I going to mention? I got to Ruby pretty quickly. I'm trying to think of kind of what stalled me in my growth. And I remember, between Ruby and Senior Ruby, I really struggled with comparison and wasn't connecting with my people. And finally one day, it was at Senior Ruby. I was to get to Jewel. I'm like, I'm going to call somebody every day for a year. I'm picking up that phone and I'm not going to talk Plexus. I'm going to say, how the heck are you? And you guys, I just stopped thinking about my points kind of, and I just really started enjoying connecting. And I did rank up within that year. And I did tell my husband also, it's like, I will retire if I hit Emerald. Or when I hit Emerald. I always said that I'll retire when I hit Emerald. So I hit Emerald in March of 2019. So I was able to retire in May. And what was really sad is though I didn't plan for what I wanted next. So I got really stuck for a while at Emerald, just disbelief. And I thought when I hit Emerald, they'd send me this magic platter of, here's what you do every single day. This is what you say. I don't know what I thought, but I thought this would be some magical potion. I was going to get to breathe in and breathe out. And I knew I would just know. And I was like, oh my gosh, I still have to be the leader. I still have to make decisions. I still have to show up every day. And so anyway, I did do that, but I look back and think, you know, what could have helped me? And I think just stop the stuff between your ears, like just believe and help people and love people and go forward, not sideways, not back. And who cares if someone says something to you that hurts your feelings? Turn around, talk to somebody that's like-minded and don't let it affect you. Because you know what? I've had that happen, and 3 years later they come and they're ready to join. It's always usually the people that, are uneducated about gut health, or they detox, or yeah. So when people would come from a place of judgment, it's insecurity judging. So, so anyway, yeah. So at Emerald, then I just really poured into a lot of different things. There's podcast. I'm sure you guys all know Bob Heilig. I did all that. I did Brooke Hemingway. I've done all that. I had to stay plugged in on things to just keep myself going forward. And Jody and I did the Tiffany Peterson coursework 2 years ago. That was excellent. In fact, one of my gals that's on here, she just signed up for Tiffany tonight. So she's excited because, we don't go to school for network marketing. We don't go to school to be alone. Like, our building is our body. This is our storefront. We're either open or closed, and people, they judge. If we had a store, people, would be liking all your posts that you just opened this new store and have a boutique. Will you come to my open house? And people would be cheering. But what happens when we post about Plexus, you guys? I still only get 5-6 likes, and they're all my team. But we're more than a like. We're much more than a like. We're much more than points. So you want to work as if there's no rank. Work as if there's no points, and just enjoy the process. But that's hard to, you want to have goals, you want to pay attention to that stuff, but sometimes it can really just get you tripped up and you get all focused on the wrong things and not about the connecting. And sometimes three-way chats are such a blessing, but what I've noticed too is that, when someone's not answering, I'll ask that person, when is the last time you talked to her individually? And they'll say, well, I haven't. I'm like, wow, I think they need you as a friend right now. And that's usually what it is, you guys. They feel like they're being sold to, but really that isn't what their intent was. It's just that they're doing their job and want to make sure they're taking care of them, but they forget to go, individually. So no one wants to be sold to. So yeah, getting to Sapphire was really fun. I ranked up to Emerald sitting and watching my son-in-law play basketball. We've never been a push team or a script team. So we're very unique. North Dakota, we do things different. In fact, when I hit Jewel and they're talking about, pushing and all this stuff, I'm like, what are you talking about? Jody, am I saying the wrong things? I'm being so honest here.
I love it. I love it. When I ranked up to Emerald, it was when I was sleeping and I woke up and was way over. But we had been working really hard. So it can happen that way. Like, you're working hard. It's just different for everyone. But I love that about how you lead in your team and the making connections and enjoying the journey. And I love watching how relational you are. It's super important. So I love that you're sharing that part. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to be in front of people. I despise Zooms. I've been leading my team Zooms for 6 years, pretty much. I have a great team. They're awesome leaders. Outside legs, you guys are almost 3,000 points right now. So I've raised some awesome, just amazing. Not I've done it, they've done it, but they're just amazing. And I always tease them, I'm going on sabbatical leave pretty soon. But they're great. They all can pitch in. They can do it all without me. And but yeah, you just really have to enjoy people, love on people, and it'll happen. And the lows, when you're having a low, don't stop. Never stop on a low. Like, if you're feeling, I can't do this, you drop in points, 3 people quit, somebody's detoxing. We've all had it happen, right? Just pray about it and talk to Jody or talk to your sponsor and just get through it, because there's always something to be taught from what you're going through. And to make it teachable, you have to keep going so you know what you learned.
Mhm.
If you stop too soon, you're never going to know. Some other things that I was thinking about: begin as if there's no rank. Oh, begin with the end in mind. I always talk about that with our new customers and new people too. It's like, let's talk a year from now. Where do you want to be a year from now? They don't want to talk a year from now. Well, let's go 2 months. Let's be a customer, kind of lead with the end in mind, kind of. And same with our business. Like, someone wants to quit after 6 months. It's like, well, 5 to 10 years would be doable, not 6 months. Like, why are you quitting now? Where else do you work and rank up in 6 months? Like, it doesn't happen, right? So I think we're too hard on ourselves, and just hang out with people that do this stuff. Because unless you do this, you don't understand it, right? I never thought I would be doing this, but I love it. I really do love it every day. So yeah, it's just, so hitting Sapphire was really fun. It was a short month, and kind of that day I decided, I think I can do it. And my team rallied, and we got on a Zoom, and it was just, yeah, that was really fun. So, and yeah, just, I don't know.
I love
What else I can say?
I love that you said begin with the end in mind and having long-term vision. So even, I don't think people often think, oh, I want to do this after I retire, right? Like, and that wasn't actually your intent. But even, can you speak to like this time of life, really, and after having a career in teaching, and what makes it so great for retirement? And even for myself, thinking, okay, I'm mid 40s and like I'm planning for that. And so I have a plan. Like, this is part of that plan for me. But why is it so great? Because I don't think everyone can see it. They don't have the vision to see why this is so awesome for as we get older.
So where else can you work from your phone and not have to be punching in and be scheduled? You get to be in charge of your schedule. And I think retirement would be really boring for me if I didn't have this. If I didn't have this, I would be subbing. I know I would be, but I don't have time to sub now. But I think it fits just a nice niche, and you can like write off your trips, go with your girlfriends somewhere. I mean, there's a lot. I go for lunch with a lot of people, and it's a business lunch, keep track of your records, make it work for you. Yeah, I never planned. Like I said, God had a plan, and it's just been, I can't get emotional. I can't talk about everything because I get emotional, but there is, I think back to the year I started. Well, Jody, you can attest to this. The website was not fun. There was all these shipping errors. The software wasn't working. Like, I was on the phone every night, and I detoxed pretty bad. And I'm thinking, and I didn't know I was detoxing because no one was really working with me. We weren't really trained in it yet. And I think back and go, why didn't I quit? But it was just like, I had this feeling I had to keep going. And so that's just kind of that inner drive and intrinsic motivation. If you're a teacher, you know what that is. And that's what we want to strive to, have in our team, is that intrinsic motivation to help, not to win prizes.
Mhm.
That's fun. That's the bonus. We always have to lead with the cherry sometimes, or the ticket. But yeah, it's, I wrote down a couple things that, I don't know if you guys saw, I did go on the Plexus Worldwide. I shared in there. They said 3 to 4 minutes, and I went 11. And I was after Brooke Hemingway. I was so scared. I almost puked, but don't watch it, but you can watch it if you want to laugh. But anyway, any of you can do this. It's fun. It's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to, just learn. This is a learning game. And I'd rather be learning than sitting and judging.
Mhm.
So I want to say, don't should on yourself, right? And take but out of your vocabulary and try. Okay, just catch yourself on that. I also was a fitness instructor 19 years. Did I finish that story? And then I taught I did Easter seals. I did migrant school. I cleaned Quest buildings in 11 towns around the town I lived in. Anyway, you wouldn't want my life before Plexus, but I think God was preparing me to be, happy with what this opportunity. We have a huge opportunity, you guys. Where else can we make this kind of money and just dig in for 5 to 10 years? I mean, really, be consistent for 5 to 10 years. And I think you'll have lots of fruit that you're bearing from the plants that you planted, seeds you planted. And yeah, so I had a couple things. Just don't wish it were easier. Work to be better. Don't wish for less problems. Work to develop your own skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Work on yourself to gain more knowledge. So, any questions?
I love that. Those are wise tips at the end, and hard.
And I've learned the hard way. I've made all the mistakes, and I've been, this pointing your finger. I've been there a couple times, and there's 3 pointing back at us for a reason. And I caught myself, and this was at a Jewel training, our leadership training, Jody. There was a gal there that just bugged me. And I'm like, God, why is she bugged? Like, oh, she's nice, she's beautiful. And I realized I was at a very low time, insecure. What she had, I didn't have. Bold confidence. And I can't wait to have that conversation with her one day because I love her to death. And now I realize, but I just was kind of like, oh, I can't imagine. I bet her team has a hard time. I don't know. But then I realized, Marla, your judgment is your own insecurity. You have to grow from there. And so it took me a while to figure out why I was being that way. And so be okay with looking in the mirror and be okay with having the conversation with somebody you trust. Like, wow, I think this is what is holding me back. What do you think? It's sometimes hard to hear it from someone else, but it's sometimes good too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a teachable moment for me.
That's good. That's so good. So does anyone have any questions before Marla heads out? Because it's later there where she is. Anyone? If you do have a burning question later, I'm sure that you could send it to her and she would graciously answer it.
Mary, do you have a question?
I do. I would love to know how many people on your team are your age-ish.
Well, it is quite a few because my level ones, I think I have 123 level ones, and most of them are my age. Level twos, that's a good question, but more are within 45 to 60.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I think we have some younger ones that are senior gold, a 27-year-old. So yeah, I don't know what that means.
It means that you have your people.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm looking for, my people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, be talking to your people when you're posting and talking to your old self.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it's important too, and Terry can speak more to this, but oftentimes we think in our minds, oh, that's who would be the best at this business. And so we can think, well, that's what we really need or want. But often it's like, it's us. It's our former self. And so we're going to attract people who are like us, and of course there will be others that come along, but it's okay to find your person and speak to them and go after them. And every single age group, season of life is honestly the perfect fit for plexus. Like every age, every season, it all fits. And I love that that's true because anyone can do this. And we just have to figure out what works for us, who's our audience, who are our people, and target them. You know, like I'm not going to reach someone that Terry can. And so really owning that, I think is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I have a whole team, a whole leg that doesn't have social media. They actually joined in June of last year. So that was a challenge for me. It's because of the religious beliefs. And so they do Zooms and have coffee and they're doing great. I have a Ruby there and almost two Rubies in that leg. So, you know, sometimes we get too caught up in the social media. I mean, it's important, right? But it's the messaging, it's the follow-up, it's the connection, relationship building that's going to, you know, sustain. And that is the hard part because it's scary, but how often do you reach out to somebody and you feel worse, where you just want to have a conversation? Never. And they feel good. A friend of mine that's an English teacher and a German teacher, she called me at Christmas and we were at a motel for my husband's, he's a sugar beet farmer, you guys. Isn't that funny? Anyway, and she called and she's like, hey, Marla, I just want to tell you how grateful I am for you. You've always just this whole spiel. And I just started bawling. Like she's not on my Plexus team, but she used to come to my Zumba classes and we rode together. And anyway, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you just made my day. I was having a low day. And I said, and by the way, that Christmas picture you sent me, you are rocking it. You look amazing, lady. I said, one smoking hot mama or something. She's like, Marla, I'm in front of my 7th and 8th grade students on speakerphone. I'm like, oh gosh. But my point is, I just tell it like it is all the time. My point is that feeling on my heart, what that did for me, you know, we can do that to, you know, reach out to people, not about plexus too. Love on people and it'll happen. So I didn't plan on saying that. That just came out.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and for being here tonight. I really appreciate you.
You guys are all capable. Everybody is. What you have right here.
Yep.
Is your best gift.
Absolutely. Well, Marla, you're welcome to stick around for the next 10-ish minutes, but you don't have to either. So it's totally up to you, but
I might just shut my camera off so I can do some things, but I'm just going to listen in because it's always fun to hear how you can't talk about me till you're off till next call.
Only good things, only good things.
Yes. I hope I get to meet you all sometime. And I can't wait to cheer you on to Sapphire and all the rest of you. That means everyone else ranks up. Yay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, I wanted to briefly talk about something that Kristen Boss had shared. She did a whole podcast. And so in case you heard it already, this will be a little bit of a review. I can't talk. But Marla touched on so many of the things that she shared in there. And I just think it's such a good reminder to us, but talking about belief, really. And so Kristen talks about the belief model or the belief triangle. And the top of that triangle, you guys, is our belief in yourself. And I loved that. Marla touched on this, and Kristen, when she does this on the podcast, she says it's a calm confidence, not an arrogance or a fake it till you make it, but you are someone who you can see that you are here to serve and help other people. Like that is really what it is. And so even the Cultivate challenge that we're doing right now, if you guys aren't doing that with us, I would love for you to join in because it is absolutely touching on the things that we doubt about ourselves, the lies that we believe, our mindset, and it is going to take us out in our business, in life in general. And we all have those times in our life and our business where we doubt ourselves. And it doesn't matter what rank you're at, like Marla was saying, like when you get to Emerald, I mean, there was a whole host of things that came in, doubts, new fears that I had that I didn't know what was there. And you think, oh, once I'm there, I'll feel like, oh, I have arrived. It is not like that. And so that belief in yourself is so crucial. And if you are just starting this business, because I know some of you are newer, your like someone else's success doesn't actually depend on you. You can build belief into somebody else. You can share the vision, you can share the products, you can share success stories of other people that don't have anything to do with you. You just point them in that right direction, you cast vision for them and build their belief, which in turn builds your belief. So continuing to remember, oh yeah, it doesn't depend on me. Like someone else can be successful and I am not fully responsible for anyone else's success. But I do want to help serve, help our team grow. And yet it's all our own responsibility, right? Like I can't look to Cassie and think, well, I'm not successful because she's not doing this and this. No, it's up to me. And continuing to build that belief in yourself. And then belief in the offer. I mean, you guys, I could talk for a month about how incredible these products are. I could share testimony after testimony after testimony of the health and the business opportunity. So having belief in what we have to offer is crucial. And I love that she talked about you need to look at the value, not the cost. And so often in the very beginning, and I will have people say, oh, that's so expensive. And I think, well, if that's the way you're looking at it, but it is an investment. It is a value worth making and helping people see that it is about a transformation, not a transaction. We're not just selling the flight somewhere, right? We're selling the destination, not the plane. And that's like the supplements. We are going to be continually casting vision for the value. And she said, you know, that when you have no qualms about the price of your product, that your belief in the value is high. Like I don't ever question the price of our products or the fact that there's a membership fee at all. Like I just think that it's so worth it. And I would pay more for it, quite honestly, you guys. And so when you know that, then you know your belief in that value that we have to offer people. And that we're problem solvers. We're not selling something, we are offering a transformation. And so continually going back to that. And then the third corner of that triangle is belief in your customer or ambassador or team, knowing that they are worth it and just assuming that they are looking for what we have to offer. You just go in with that mindset. They want this. Who doesn't want to feel better? Who doesn't want some extra money in their budget? Assuming the positive intent. And that is the last thing that I assume when someone like ghosts me or when they don't get back to my message. I'm like, oh my gosh, they hate me. They're ignoring me. We start panicking. And she's like, always assume positive intent. 90% of the time, you guys, people get distracted or busy. So just continually believe for them. And when the time's right, they'll come back, just like what Marla was saying. Sometimes people will leave us 1, 2, 3 times, and they come back because when they're ready, they will. And so continually going back to this belief triangle and really working on that. Because when we have that, we can move forward in confidence with what we have to offer, with the opportunity. And I loved that reminder this week. So if you want to go listen to Kristen talk about it, I think it was episode 22, and constantly building like ourselves, working on ourselves. I'm always listening to a podcast. I have a coach pretty much at all times, I feel like, in one area or another, usually multiple, because I need it. I have to continually be working on me because usually it's the only one getting in the way of where I'm going is me. So that's not always fun to admit it, but here we are. And so continue to work on you. So the last thing, I would love to take 5 minutes if we can. And one of the assignments that I had this week from my coach that I have right now is to brainstorm a list of 25 She actually said 40, but she said start with 25. Worthy fails that we can aim to make. It's just that we're going to make a list of things that we want to try in our business in the next 60 days that are going to help us move toward our goal. But if I think, oh, I'm just going to do this, and if I fail, awesome. It means I've tried something new, or I've talked to somebody new, and it will eventually get us to our goal. And so sometimes I can feel like, what else can I do? Right? But it's the simple things we already do. But what are some ideas? So I would love for you guys to throw them out. You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and share them. It could be like Miranda and Stephanie and I have been talking about, okay, we want to try some webinars, like not even just about plexus, but about intermittent fasting or going plant-based. So that's on my list because I really want us to just give it a whirl, right? See what happens. So what are some other things? I know, like Kelly, you've been doing live interviews on Instagram. Like grab someone and do an interview on Facebook or Instagram. Just what are 25 things that we can do that are going to move us in the right direction?
I have this plan that I am asking all of my wholesale customers who are ambassadors who are not sharing to give me a referral. Just one person that they know who could benefit from the products and make us an introduction. And I've even gone so far as a couple of them, I've said, oh my gosh, I know you want to try XYZ. And it's not really in their budget. So I'm like, if you can refer me someone who will join my team, I will buy you that product. So that's my new push this month, is hitting all of those people.
I love that. That's good. Kelly mentioned Clubhouse, which when it first came out, I tried a couple times, but I haven't been back since. So that would be another thing to try. Regular lives. Karen's doing some messenger events. I even wrote
Reels.
Reels. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. What else? What are other things? I'm brainstorming some ideas to do for my birthday this week. Like I always want to do something, some fun, I don't know, free memberships, whatever it is, like an offer to people, because quite frankly, the best gift you can give yourself is plexus, in my opinion. So I want to give back. And it doesn't have to be plexus either, you guys. Like what are the things that you're already doing to cultivate relationships? Like join a new networking group, join a new Facebook group. Where can you serve? How can you teach something new?
I was texting Lindsay while Marla was talking, and because Lindsay lives across the street from me, and we're going to possibly do a sip and share event together. And one of the things we also wanted to do this summer was rent an inflatable. So we thought maybe we could rent an inflatable for kids, for moms to bring kids over, and then also do the sip and share. So, but we have to wait until it's June because we're in South Dakota and it's cold still.
Yes, I love that. I love that. You're like, want energy like your kids? Try this pink drink and active. A block party, yes. We love doing neighborhood events. I mean, not in the last year, but eventually we'll get back to those things. Another thing for me personally, like I can speak to scoliosis, and I have a lot of moms that I'm interacting with. And so I'm working on a series about scoliosis and trying to get a resource available that someone could download. So it is on my to-do list, but just another way to serve a community of people that I'm already in. Any other last minute ideas? I love that, Corky. Okay, I'm gonna read it. She's been going deep with team members, asking about the products that they're taking, and then recommending how to use them to better achieve their goals and recommend new ones to try. That's really good. And I think especially with people who've been with us for a while, they may feel like they're in a rut, or they might need to switch things up or add something in. So that's a really, really good idea.
Well, Jody, for me, it took being brave because there's some of those people that I didn't like, they were from maybe 2-3 years ago that I haven't done good follow-up necessarily. And so it took like humbling myself to be like, hey, I don't know, I went in and did a lot of research on their orders and what they've been doing. So I wasn't just going in blind, but I just kind of said, listen, I haven't been giving you the help I think you need, and I want to talk about this. And just like I said, got pretty deep with them. And what I found is they were very receptive. And in doing that, I've got a lot of back and forth with them. And they're either excited about, trying to make the products work better, or some of them have already ordered more stuff because of the conversation. So it was good.
That's so awesome. I love that. It's the connection piece. It's so key. I wrote down, make a phone call a day. Oh my gosh, that sounds so scary to me, you guys. Like I don't answer my phone very often. We've gotten so into text messages, and a Marco Polo is fine, but picking up the phone makes me sweat a little. So that was a good challenge. Wrote it down. Okay, well, so I will leave you guys with that challenge. Make your own fail forward list, whatever that looks like for you. And even sit with what is that? How do I process failure? And what do I make that mean for me? And why am I letting it stop me if it is stopping you? So I love to pass on the things that I'm learning. So I will pass on my own assignment that I'm working on this week, and let us know what you're trying and what's working, what's not working, and celebrate every victory, celebrate your failing forward, because that is what we need to do. And I think that is all. I will put this call up after we are done. And we'll be back next month with another guest for our team call on the second Monday of the month. But thank you guys so much for joining in tonight. Thanks again, Marla. I so appreciate you. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.